Hello, everybody. This is Richard Blige with Butterfly coming to you guys with episode 2. I'm here today with Rids.
What's up?
And we have a special guest today, Sega enthusiast Korimaru.
Hello.
And
Hello.
we're here today. Going to pretty much do the same as last time, just talk about some things. Few updates. We've gotten a little further on the game we're developing. It should be coming out pretty soon. We started a typing game, which we're pretty excited about.
2026.
Yeah, the release date for that one's going to be 2026, so it's going to be a while before that one comes out. But we're getting there.
And we got some stuff we're working on before that typing game. So we're working on that typing game, and we're doing something in between 2025 and 2026.
That's a nice lineup right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll probably be a few games that come out before the typing game, and then Violet Muscle Pain, that's the one that's going to be the next one that comes out. That should be out
Hopefully January or February.
right. It should be out pretty soon, I think. Is the page up yet, or
The page is I'm finishing I finished the description, but the page is not done yet. I still got to finish the assets.
right?
That's all I can say.
The page will be up in a few weeks, and just stay tuned. We'll let you know.
But yeah, that's what we're that's pretty much our only update for you guys. But I guess we'll just talk now.
Yeah. So those video game awards, right? We've had a lot of good releases. Virtual Fighter is coming back.
Yes, I'm very excited for that.
There was only they showed a trailer and that was about it.
Yeah, like a brief trailer, and they showed a couple of other Sega games like Project Century, and then we also have like Sonic Cross Worlds.
Yeah.
It's like Sonic Racing Cross Worlds.
Yeah, the racing game.
So I'm like very excited for those 3 games and stuff. Like Sega has been absolutely cooking this year. They've been behind the kitchen and just sizzling the pan and everything, just making sure they
All
develop
organic.
these games.
Yeah,
Like
they said they would.
yeah, man, like they're keeping their promises. But man, Virtual Fighter, even if that was like a little small trailer, the little snippet of the gameplay, it feels like a kung fu movie,
Yeah.
martial arts fighting game and stuff. And we got to look at the new look for Akira. Like he's wearing this kung fu trench coat with the little hat.
Yeah.
Which he's more iconic with his original karate kung fu gi. I prefer the blue one because I think the blue one is more iconic.
He doesn't have the blue one in the trailer. Well, he just has the coat, but we can't see it.
Yeah, so no, he don't have like his iconic traditional Chinese
Right.
aesthetic and stuff. And they also revealed a character that people are saying is not Sarah, which I think it might be Sarah, but like after the Game Awards, Sega showed off like this VF Direct, and
Right.
they showcased the other character. They called her, I think, Stella, but Stella kind of has the same moves as Sarah Bryant.
Yeah,
showed off the somersault kick, and then Akira counter it with this iconic Tetsuzanko.
Yeah.
The game looks so good.
I've only played the very first Virtua Fighter, and
Yeah.
I'd like to see this, all of their games ported. And I know they released was it Revo,
Yeah.
a Revolution or a
Yeah, it's,
remaster coming out.
Yeah, so Virtua Fighter 5 Revo is essentially it's like an updated version of Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown, which was exclusive to PlayStation 4, but now Sega is trying to
Nintendo
branch it out
Switch.
into PC.
Yeah.
But
No Nintendo Switch.
I don't know.
I mean, I feel like they'll probably put it on the Switch, especially if the Switch 2 comes out with more power. I feel like they'll port it over.
that could be like a
They
possibility.
could put all their Sega stuff on the Switch too. if they could.
Yeah.
So this new Virtua Fighter update for Ultimate Showdown, they added rollback netcode, and if you also have the PlayStation 4 version of Ultimate Showdown, you can play update. I think version 2.0 has rollback and some returning moves from previous Virtua Fighter games. I think they mentioned Virtua Fighter 5 R, which I feel like some of those moves we're also seeing in like vanilla Virtua Fighter 5 and I want to say Virtua Fighter 4 Final Tune. But it's nice to see like a new like gameplay balances and stuff. I hope they can continue supporting VF5 Ultimate Showdown and Revo with like more costumes.
You hear that? You hear that, Sega?
Yeah. Like, well, actually, speaking of that, since we're on the topic of Virtua Fighter, like one thing I do wish Sega can consider is re-releasing all of the previous Virtua Fighter games.
We need compilations.
Yeah,
Yeah,
compilations.
it would
like,
be real nice to have it like in a package.
They do it for Sonic all the time, so why
Yeah,
not?
yeah. Like, yeah. I mean, and like they did delisted.
That's that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Space
delisted.
Channel.
They delisted Virtua Fighter 2 on Xbox along with like some other Sega games and stuff too. Ah man, like I agree with you. Like they do need to make it like a compilation, but another theory I could think of, since you know we got long ways to the new Virtua Fighter game comes out, they can do what like Street Fighter 6 did and add all their old games into the new Virtua Fighter.
Right.
Like have like a little
Oh.
arcade section
Yeah, yeah.
where
I know
you,
what you mean.
I guess if they have like you play as your own character or whatever, you can just walk around and play like past Virtua Fighter games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd
From
be
there,
cool.
'cause that'd be like pretty sick, and they don't take up too much space, I don't think. But yeah,
This is why we have our Sega friend here. For those who don't know what Virtua Fighter is, it's a fighting game, but it's more of a realistic take on fighting.
yes,
So you have real karate, real jiu-jitsu, different styles of fighting.
Yeah.
More of a realistic take. It still has that fantasy element, but it's more realistic.
yes, and it's essentially the very first 3D fighting game to ever existed in the game industry. Like,
Yeah, it's the foundation that kind
yes.
of influenced generation or games after that.
yeah, like Tekken, Soul Calibur, and even like 2D games like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat transitioned to like 3D, because games like Virtua Fighter was a stepping stone for the game industry to step their game up
Yeah.
when it comes to like developing more games that can intrigue people, because things were becoming more revolutionary.
They could revolutionize the fan base by releasing all their games in compilation.
I know.
But yeah, we have there's a bunch of stuff to talk about. So, Game Awards, Richard. What else we got that happened?
Well, let's see. I mean, one that you'll probably like a lot. We had a sequel for Okami
Oh, yeah,
announced,
Oh, Kami, yes.
which Okami's kind of an old game, but
Super old game. It's Okami Den was a I can't remember. It was a prequel or sequel to the original.
I
So
actually
you
forgot
played
about
you
that.
played like a puppy version of Amaterasu. I don't know if it's Amaterasu. I can't remember. But it's probably one of the best DS games. It's really hard. It's really expensive too. I wouldn't even try and buy it anymore because it's like over $100 just to buy it used.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see Kamiya-san being able to rejoin Clover Studio, the developers of Okami, because you know he recently quit Platinum Games. And
Kamiya, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
you know the infamous like Japanese game developer who blocks people if you know you don't speak Japanese, or like if you like you know like piss them off and whatever.
I'm glad he's back because
Yeah, I am
this could
too.
open the door for like Beautiful Joe.
Yes.
Oh wow.
I
Another
would-
Beautiful, because you know he did Beautiful Joe and then he did Okami. And then when he left, I think Okami was her last project or something.
Yeah, I think so.
And then they left to make Platinum. They did Mad World. Mad World was sick.
Yeah, Mad World.
Mad World. One of my favorite gaming soundtracks. Mad World. Super violent game, but
Yes.
Yeah, Mad World was.
Oh man.
it's a Sega game too.
Yeah.
A Sega published game.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm happy for him to like you know come back and like develop develop games for Capcom again. I've read a couple like articles and stuff that like Capcom is also planning to bring back their dormant IPs, which is also good because Sega and Capcom are like my top 2 favorite publishers.
What are they resurrect?
You know they've remade you know
Okami.
Yeah, Okami.
The Okami
Well,
is
sequel,
come back. The sequel. They've remade the Resident Evil games.
Whatever happened to that Tekken Cross Street Fighter?
Uh,
Not the one that's out, but the one that was like in development.
Yeah,
mode.
Harada-san let he promise and stuff. I think it might be either it's still on hold or
I think
probably
it-
canceled.
Yeah, I think it's probably canceled. It's been a long
But
time.
we've seen like these Akuma. It's like, you know, you're seeing Akuma in the Tekken games, and like, is this still alive? You know, is that concept? I mean, the concept works when Akuma's there. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's just the guest character that shows up sometimes.
You know what? Speaking of which, remember that New York Comic Con announced Darkstalkers are
Oh.
not dead.
Oh, yeah.
Man, Darkstalkers. I'm still holding hope for that game because the last time, for me personally, that I saw like a reference in a Capcom game was I think Resident Evil Resistance.
They're coming out with a Capcom, was it Fighter Collection 2 with Power Stone?
Oh yeah, Capcom Fighting Collection 2. Yes, Power Stone.
I thought that thing was going to come out this year, but
Yeah,
next year, dude.
they're
Yeah.
coming out next
I
year.
really want to
so-
play Power Stone.
Yes, sir. Power Stone 1, 2, Project Justice, Capcom versus SNK. I think the first two games.
And they're detailing what's going to be in these games and what's changed to it, you know, because these games are very important, and Capcom's really laying out the blueprint of what's going on with these games since they're going to be updated versions.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
So they're being careful to bring in new fans, but also to respect their old fans, we hope.
yeah.
That'd be good. Yes.
Well, what else happened in the Game Awards? I know we saw the trailers. Richard has the list. Just kind of going through what we enjoyed.
Yeah. So one that I thought was extremely interesting was Shadow Labyrinth, which is a Metroidvania Pac-Man.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Is that?
Where-
Oh,
Yeah, that's the one where you have like the sword thing and the Pac-Man's following
yeah,
behind
yeah.
it.
It's like a.
And
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's the game that Bandai Namco
yeah,
announced, right?
It's such an odd collab.
yeah, it's really weird, but it looks like it's gonna work. And then you have like the Pac-Man actually in the level eating the pellets and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end you have it turn into like a monster and eat the. I thought that was really cool.
It was
Nice.
it's really bizarre take on Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Not only that, the developers Eco,
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
actually
it's-
on the
it's-
the
list
yeah.
too.
developers of Eco made shit.
Gen Design.
Yeah,
Gen
yeah.
Design.
They made something. It's another one of those wholesome Shadow of Colossus type looking games.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's their games are always pretty creative.
Never on
It's
Nintendo.
story deep. Never on Nintendo. I mean, maybe they'll get Switch 2 ports.
Shadow of Colossus. That's another developer that me and Richard enjoy. That has influenced us because they're more of a artisan,
Hmm.
artistic take on the video game industry, and they bring up that debate of is video games art. So you look at these games, and this is a really good example of
Yeah.
art
Mhm.
and game design. We're not here to debate. We're just here to have fun. So what else happened, dude?
Well, I mean, I think you guys mentioned this a little bit in passing, but Project Century.
Project
Which is-
Century.
Yeah, the
Remind me of that
Yakuza in.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Yakuza
Oh,
in
man.
ancient times.
Yeah, in
I
the
guess.
Taisho era.
Yeah.
Damn.
That looks.
That one's more violent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a little bit more realistic looking than the previous like a Dragon games. I'm not sure if my details are like correct or anything.
Mortal Kombat gore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should. That could be another revitalized to bring more interest into Yakuza. Just make it more violent because it is a violent game.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's gonna have like direct connection to Yakuza. Like, I think it might be more of a
I've seen
Like a new-
standalone type thing.
I've seen like fans made like theories and stuff that like I think they might have some connections with the Yakuza games, but we're not sure because like the title
Right.
is tentative.
Yeah.
Well, if not, just the fact that it's just even if it's a new IP, it's going to bring people into the Yakuza franchise.
Yeah.
So I'm currently playing. I've never played Yakuza until I played it on the Nintendo Switch, which came out recently.
You know, I'm curious about your thoughts on the Switch port of Yakuza Kiwami.
It's a very good port.
Very good port.
There's some frame drops, but you're never gonna be bored playing this game. I'm currently playing shogi on it.
Nice.
So there's a whole shogi element. I put a few hours in just shogi. It's just a mini game that you can do.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, Yakuza's always packed full of stuff. Like, it's a lot.
Oh yes.
if you're a weeb, play it.
I'm talking about old games that have gotten a comeback. Onimusha.
Onimusha.
Yeah, that's
Onimusha.
gotten a comeback too. We gotta-
Onimusha. That's another old game that's coming back. I can't remember what was the latest one. Is the one with the he was in Tatsunoko versus Capcom. I can't remember.
Was
which
he?
Onimusha was.
Soka, I think that's his name.
The blonde hair with the blue devil.
Yeah, yeah. If I hope I
Blue devil horns.
yeah, I hope I didn't mess up his name. But I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's another Capcom IP. I haven't played the games because I'm only like kind of familiar with like the original. Because I remember like the little creepy doll with
Yeah.
the blades
Right,
and
right.
stuff.
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
used to be afraid of that.
Then there is a Nintendo Switch port, which is really good. I don't have it, but it's out on the Nintendo Switch if you guys own a Nintendo Switch. So it's a good port, and you can even take it anywhere, and it's good.
Yeah, you can get caught up on it before the new one comes out.
But I haven't seen the trailer for that one. What's in the trailer?
It doesn't show much. It basically shows
There's gameplay, right? It's like a
kind
cinematic
of.
game.
Yeah, it's just like
Cinematic,
cinematic.
yeah.
Yeah, where he's basically sitting there and the souls are coming into the sword,
Oh,
and then he does the little cut, but
You know, that reminds me of Shinobi. You know, like sword like Hatsuma has to use to like avenge his like clansmen. I think the sword was called Akuchiki. Like it's a soul sealing sword where the wielder like life force is drained unless he draws or it lets the user like drains blood from like his enemies and stuff.
jeez.
yeah.
It's sad. Shinobi was a tragic tale.
But there is another Shinobi game coming out. It's part of their Sega.
Oh, the initiative of
Re-
like legacy games. Yeah.
Legacy games that are coming out. We haven't had any updates since last year, right?
Yeah, I was expecting
Yeah, that
news on
something
that.
for that this year.
Yeah, but hopefully we'll get some more news on it next year. Speaking of like Shinobi, there's like another Ninja game that was like the first game to be revealed at the Game Awards.
Ninja
Ninja
Gaiden.
Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden.
Ninja
Yeah.
Gaiden.
Who is that? It's not the main character. It's some new guy.
It might.
Okay.
I think it might be like the original Ryo Hayabusa, and then there's like the modern Ryo Hayabusa. It might be like a time travel thing, maybe.
An alternative Kasumi.
Alternative Kasumi.
But
Yeah.
the gameplay looks really good.
Yeah, the gameplay looks amazing.
Yeah, well, I looked at that and I looked at Shinobi. Like both games look good. I was like, man, Shinobi's gonna have some competition.
Yeah,
Like we gotta
When
see.
does
Where
it-
it goes.
It comes out next year, both of them, right?
I think so.
I'm not too sure about Shinobi, but Ninja Gaiden I think is coming out next year.
Yeah, well, Ninja Gaiden, it really it's a modern take on the old Ninja Gaidens on the NES.
Yes.
So I remember playing those as a kid and dying all the time.
Oh, yeah.
That, the Ninja Gaiden on NES and the one that's coming out is they're going back to 2D, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
This is they're going back for the first time
hmm
in a long time.
Yeah, they're 2D. They went to 3D for a while on the PlayStation ones. I think they did 3 of them on PlayStation that were 3D. But yeah, this one's going back to the roots, and the movement looks amazing on it, like bouncing off a shuriken and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
Metaphor won the Game Awards, though, right? Was
What?
Metaphor won the Game of the Year?
No,
I
I
think it
think so.
was Astrobot.
Astrobot.
Oh, Astrobot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
I mean, I can't play it. I only have a Nintendo Switch. Because I've seen it's a really good game and it looks good. It looks like basically a fine-tuned Mario Galaxy, you know.
Yes. There's a lot of cameos from like first party and third party companies like
Yeah.
Sony and
Mm.
like other like Capcom, Sega, Namco. And it's like a little nice touch and everything.
I'm just glad Sony is making something of quality like this,
Yes.
Yeah.
because they really needed that Mario type character to represent them in some way, you know.
Yeah.
Because remember, the next generation of kids that are playing, they'll be playing Astrobot, and they'll be saying, "Oh, yeah, that's the game I grew up. That's my greatest of all time."
Yeah.
So. But Metaphor did win something.
Oh shoot! I think soundtrack maybe.
Yeah, it might have been music.
I thought it was RPG. Well, either way, Metaphor. None of us have played.
I played Metaphor at Anime Expo, and it's really good. I'll say this: like, I haven't bought the game yet. I should.
Yeah.
You know, I should.
It's Persona 6, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like it feels like a medieval version of Persona.
Yeah.
But it's a lot more interesting. You know, like the character designs are pretty sick.
The
They're-
soundtrack is pretty crazy.
Oh,
yeah.
I love the
soundtrack.
battle music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like when the music kind of go hard when it goes like, hey,
Yeah, it's a rapper.
Yeah.
They're rapping. It's like a medieval rap thing. Though.
Yeah.
We're still on the Game Awards topic here.
Yeah, I mean a lot of good games dropped.
The Witcher 4.
Yeah.
I'm just really glad to see Suri take the spotlight this time. So it's gonna be interesting what they do with her.
Yeah. Like I don't know much about Witcher. I know it's a popular franchise. Like
It's on the Nintendo Switch.
it is on the Nintendo Switch.
It's a good port. It's a good port. It's the third one. The third one's on the Switch. So
Yeah, I need to go back and figure out how to play the first two, probably, because it's a sequence, right? Like the stories are all connected.
there are books too. So.
Yeah, I mean there's a TV series too, so
It's franchising.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Finally.
So I got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Sonic Racing Cross Worlds? Even if we basically just got a trailer.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Richard.
I mean it looks like a decent racer. With Sonic games, I really wish that it would be foot races instead of the cars.
Yeah,
But-
like the original Sonic R.
yeah. But I mean, I think it'll be fun.
I know one of my friends who's also a content creator, Sam Procrastinates.
Mm-hmm.
He mentioned that like they saw like an extreme gear in the garage, so we might be seeing like returning characters like Jet the Hawk from like the Sonic Rider series. And my theory on Cross Worlds, I'm not sure if it's like different eras of Sonic or going to like different properties of Sega, like with the previous All-Star games, or it could be like non-IPs and stuff, because you know like Sega has been doing a lot of things with Sonic. Like
Mario could appear.
yeah, maybe if it's
Probably not.
if it's like Nintendo exclusive, but
Yeah.
like you know they collaborate with like Transformers, Batman
Mm-hmm.
as a
Oh yeah,
recent.
they are. That's their current one right now, Transformers, right?
Yeah, they're doing like a toy lineup for Transformers, and then like they're doing like a comic book collaboration with DC Comics. So
Oh, that's
Like-
nice. That's interesting because who were they with before IDW?
yeah, they're
They're still with IDW.
Yeah, they're still with IDW. They were
Archie
previously
just
with
got
Archie. Yeah,
Hmm.
they were previously with Archie, but like they're still currently with like IDW and stuff, and doing the like stories with like the Sonic characters and everything. And speaking of which, what I like about the IDW comics is they're doing like one shots of, you know, classic era Sonic. The
Yeah.
recent one that just came out was like Knuckles.
Is Tyson Hess doing any comics?
Uh,
Because you know he didn't finish the one he came out with. Remember
I
that
think I think that one was canceled when
Yeah, that was such a good comic.
yeah, when Archie like transitioned, well, the people who
Yeah, yeah.
worked on the comics transitioned to IDW. I think he's working on the Sonic movie 3.
Yeah, he's been employed
dang.
by the Sonic movie stuff.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
But for the comic, like the recent one shot that came out was like celebrating Knuckles' 30th anniversary, which kind of takes place after Sonic Superstars, because you get to see the new character. Please don't tell me. I would say Tingle. No, not Tingle. Trip the Sun Gazer.
Oh yeah. The
Um,
dragon?
Yes. You guys don't mind spoilers, right?
No.
Warning to you guys, this is going to be a spoiler. Jump
Yeah.
ahead for like a minute.
Yeah, so like basically the comic is about like Knuckles teaching Trip how to become a better guardian for her island. Knuckles is like, you know, a tough
Yeah.
echidna.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
He's a tough fruit.
Yes, exactly. And then he learned to like calm down and like try to teach Trip how to become a better guardian for her island in his own way. And things worked out towards the end, and he travels back to his island. And I think after that's done, they're gonna do a one shot for Shadow, and then next year it's gonna be the Chaotix 30th anniversary.
Okay.
Their game came out in '95 on the Sega 32X, which I know a lot of people give the 32X a lot of flack. I don't mind it as an add-on. I know it was expensive and like the complaints about hooking that add-on into like the wall sockets and stuff is complicated.
90s
But
Sega Tech was really cool.
It-
They had
yeah.
the satellite where you could the Sega satellite.
I think so. They had like
You can download games like Pulseman through satellite.
oh the Sega channel.
Yeah, the Sega channel. It was
Yeah.
through satellite.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's what this program is actually called. What's it, the butterfly beam?
Yeah.
We're beaming this program to you because we don't know what to call what this show is.
Yeah.
We got the going back to the racing thing. I've only played the first racing, the 3D one, the modern racing Sonic.
Oh, you told me, was it All Stars or
Yeah, All Stars.
All Star Racing with all the Sega characters?
Yeah. We played that a lot at our friend's house.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty fun game, but every time I play those games, you see these characters that you're familiar with, but then Sega doesn't do anything with.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's like, oh, I'm playing the Jet Set Radio dude, but I can't play his games.
Yeah.
Nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
What game's this character from?
And Space Channel, ooh la la, that's
I think
Y2K looking character.
Yeah.
I can't play her game.
Speaking of like those games and stuff, like the first one they kind of did good with, like they actually had like character biographies and what games they came from. The sequel is 10 times better in terms of like tracks and stuff.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, in terms of characters, I think they could have went a little bit more hardcore with like their list, because
There's so much IP that Sega has. They can do anything.
yeah, man, I
It
agree.
can't just be the most popular ones. You can literally get the main characters from Field of Magic.
Yes.
Majima from Yakuza.
I want to say, as much I'm like excited for this new Sonic Racer, I'm hoping that we can see an all-star game where it has like a bunch of like Sega characters and not just like too focused on Sonic. Because I know Sonic is the main selling point, which is good, but now we're at this point where Sega is planning to do like a bunch of stuff with their IPs.
We want to love Sega even more.
Yeah, like
I imagine they could do something like Mario Kart, right? Where it's Mario Kart, but they throw in all these other Zelda and all these characters.
Yeah.
I imagine Sega could do the same thing because they have the IP to do it.
Man, the only character I want to see in a Sega crossover game with Sonic and the other characters is Sakura Shinguji from Sakura Wars.
Oh.
That's it. That's the only thing I kind of care about right now. And if she's ever in a game with like a bunch of Sega
A
characters,
huge Sakura.
yeah, I love Sakura Wars.
I took photos of this guy cosplaying Sakura Wars
Yes.
content. So what else happened at the?
So
Is that it?
We had,
I think we covered everything.
well, we had Elden Ring. I think that was probably a big one.
This is
like
a spin-off, a lonesome spin-off, isn't it?
I don't know if it's a
It's
spin-off.
not a DLC, is it?
It's not DLC. It's its own game, but it's like it's multiplayer Elden Ring basically.
Oh yeah, yep.
So like you get together with 2 of your friends and you can just go in and fight bosses basically.
Man, From Software is just like time to milk.
Yeah. I think this is going to be a little bit more than a milk though. Like I've watched a little bit on it and I think this is going to be pretty good.
Yeah, I
As
mean,
a
I
game.
we love From Software. I love Armored Core.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Richard have played Daemon X Machina. It's not a From Software game, but it's heavily influenced from
Yeah.
Armored Core. And people who worked on Armored Core worked on that Daemon X Machina. So,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Demon Souls, Dark Souls, like
without them, there would be no Souls.
yeah, yeah, they're the originators of the Souls genre. And then I guess we'll end off on this one because it's getting kind of late. But one that I thought had a really interesting concept was Dispatch. I don't know if you guys saw that one.
Explain to me what that was.
So the concept behind it is you play it's a superhero game, but you play as the guy who sends the heroes to the location.
Oh, is it like the Telltale game
Yeah.
kind of, or
Yeah.
the cutscenes?
Yeah,
that
it's
kinda-
ad hoc. So it's the
Ad
guys
hoc?
who did Wolf of
Oh yeah, I've seen.
Wolf Among Us and
The what?
Wolf Among Us. It's the guys who did Wolf Among Us.
Okay,
that
that's
did it.
that's their only.
Well, they have a bunch of games that they did, but that's probably the most notable one.
Okay.
So
But-
what's the gameplay on this game?
Well, it's kind of a choice-based thing.
Oh, okay.
So you choose the thing, but the concept that got me was you're assigning heroes.
Mm-hmm.
So like if something happens here, you have to pick the correct hero to go deal with it, and picking the wrong hero, of course.
Yeah, you can't always choose Superman.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, Superman's probably a safe choice, but
Anyway,
Like that one song. I'm no Superman.
So if it's like if there's a specific situation where like, oh, I need ice.
Yeah.
And you just get somebody. Hey, I need somebody to make some ice for this person. It's called an ice hero.
yeah, basically, like you wouldn't send the Hulk in to like put out a fire and save people because he's just gonna beat everything up.
No,
At least traditional Hulk.
It's,
But
you know what? Speaking of Hulk, like, have you guys played Marvel Rivals?
No,
I've seen it. I haven't played it yet.
Oh man, it's hilarious.
That's the third person
yeah,
shooter.
Yeah,
it's
It's a
pretty
hero
fun.
shooter.
yeah, the Overwatch killer. Or
Overwatch.
I can't believe. Is that the one that killed Overwatch?
well, I mean, it hasn't really killed Overwatch. Overwatch is still around, but
Overwatch 2,
yeah. But
where the player base is dwindling or something.
yeah, I think Overwatch 2 has a smaller player base than Overwatch. But yeah, Marvel Rivals, it looks good. I just haven't gotten around to playing it.
I like the designs. They're not comic book accurate, but they're specific to the game.
Yeah.
So very hero. It has the Overwatch aesthetic feel to it.
I've played a couple of sets with my friends. Had a really good time.
Doctor Strange. I've seen this one where Doctor Strange is like in an endless loop of like.
Yeah.
He keeps repeating himself in the same, looping himself. Inside the
Yeah,
same.
I've seen people use on
It's cheating.
Instagram on Doctor Strange. It
Yeah.
cracked me up, and then there's like this one hated character named Jeff the Shark. I'm not too familiar with Jeff the Shark in the Marvel comics, but his
I don't know who that
ultimate
is.
basically, he essentially grabs your group and stuff,
Mhm.
and you can do whatever you want to the team and stuff. Like you can just like send them outside the stage to like kill them all in one go. And it's
Wow.
crazy, man.
And
Like,
the game is free, so
Yeah,
you
Oh,
can't
yeah.
beat a free game.
yeah, you can never beat a free game.
I'm sure there's a in-game purchases, right?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a live service.
It's
So
a looter.
Yeah,
Looter
yeah.
game?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a live service, so you can pay for probably extra heroes and costumes and stuff like that.
What else we got, man?
Well, I guess we have some questions that were asked to us.
Oh, this is the interview part, guys. So
All right.
we have our friend here. I've known Patrick since 2009,
Mm-hmm.
a long time. I guess since you're the guest, kind of made up these questions.
Okay.
So what do you do, Patrick?
So, what I do? I'm, as a Sega fan and stuff, I write for a website called SegaBits.com. It's the #1 Sega news site on the internet.
SegaBits.com.
Yes, SegaBits.com. This is where you get a chance to look at all the upcoming, Sega games. Like we, tap up news as much as possible. There's also
Huge following on Facebook, from what I saw.
yeah,
It was very small at first. It's crazy how
Yeah.
fast it's
Oh yeah, like George and Barry, they mostly run the social media accounts and stuff, and I know both of them post like Sega Talk podcasts and stuff. They'll just discuss about like retrospectives of previous Sega games and recap everything that's been going on to catch up with like the Sega community on the news on everything, so that way they can be up to date with all the upcoming Sega stuff, and kind of recap their favorite Sega video games together. The other stuff I do too.
You do contract work with
Yeah, so
Sega, right?
essentially I do contract work under
ambassador work for Sega.
Well, I wouldn't say ambassador. I would say like I do some stuff with Strategy Guide.
Right.
We do get like contract work when it comes to like Sonic stuff for or like Atlas. We did one for Atlas for what was that game? 13 Sentinels.
Okay.
Aegis.
Aegis, yeah, 13 Sentinels, and we did like a little cooking series with that, and then
The cooking.
Yeah.
yeah, and
Who made that? Vanillaware?
Vanillaware, yeah, we do like some client work for like other video game stuff and other things as well.
What y'all cook?
Honestly, I can't remember.
Well,
It's been a while.
That's pretty cool though.
I'm trying to recall what else we did. We also did fun stuff like speed strats and stuff for like games like Sonic Origins and I think Sonic Frontiers
Sonic.
and the last Sonic game I think we did. It's been a hot minute. I want to say Sonic Frontiers. Bro, I cannot remember. It was the last game we did.
Sonic Frontiers is a fully completed game. It's fully updated now.
Oh yeah, it's fully
It's
updated.
pretty
and
much
stuff.
done.
Yeah.
Forgive me if like my memory is kind of vague and stuff. But back to the Sega stuff. For me as a contractor, like a solo contractor, I did do a couple of things with Sega. I helped out with the Cooking with II series.
The Super Monkey Ball character, by the way.
Yeah, Super Monkey Ball I've done little tiny stuff for Sega when it came to like the Virtua Fighter respective videos, but basically like the first game and stuff. Like I helped like capture some footage with that, and that's about it on that end.
But yeah, these questions are just really bad questions I'm asking you. So, anything you want to promote for Sega?
Shoot.
What's
man.
a game that's coming out you could promote for them?
Honestly, personally, if I had the opportunity, I would like to promote the games that they revealed at the last Game Awards, and I'm doing something for Virtua Fighter as well.
Yeah.
Like I love basically essentially all their IPs and stuff, but I think if I had to choose, I have to say if it's anything that relates to like Virtua Fighter, Sakura Wars, Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, Shinobi, and of course the House of the Dead.
House of the Dead.
Oh yeah,
Space Shuttle Roller.
Space Channel 5. But you know what? Since we're talking about those two,
House of the Dead, you said, right?
yeah. So I also make like YouTube content at times. I talk about like backstories of like all the Sega characters and stuff, and how those characters are made for the games that they're in. Like essentially my highest ones are like House of the Dead and Samba de Amigo, because I talk about
Samba de Amigo.
yeah.
Man.
So I just
Look at that, Sega. I forgot about that character.
yeah. They just came out with a game not too long ago too.
Yeah,
like
for the Switch.
yeah,
And it was on the Nintendo Switch.
yeah, it's on Switch. It's
Yeah.
on Oculus. It's even on like
It's on your phone.
Apple. Yeah, it's even on Apple. Not only I do like content like on the Sega characters and stuff, videos covering like some of Sega's transmedia plans. Like not only they're trying to like strengthen their IPs with games, they're also releasing TV shows and movies.
They're
It's
really,
like
they're really trying to cement themselves in other forms of media.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, like Sonic the Hedgehog. The Sonic movies has been doing really good, and Sega's seeing that now. They're branching out their other IPs. The only ones I know that they're working on, from the top of my head,
they're doing a Shinobi movie.
Yeah.
Or TV show.
Universal is doing a Shinobi movie.
Oh dang.
We've already got like a Dragon Yakuza, which received like mixed receptions and stuff. I thought it was okay.
It's not like the game, is it? I haven't seen
It's kind of, it has some elements
So they're just
from the games, but it's
Yeah.
like kind of like a different approach.
Hmm.
Hence the word adaptation.
yeah.
There's that, and then there's the Space Channel 5 and Comic Zone.
Oh, Comic Zone.
Yeah, doing like they're being developed by Picture Start. Where I just fingers crossed. I hope it isn't as bad as the Borderland movie that I've been hearing about. And then like you mentioned, it's Shinobi, and House of the Dead. House of the Dead. We're getting a new House of the Dead film. I am very happy about
I found
that.
out about that yesterday. I didn't read it, but I saw an article like, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this one is going to be directed by Paul W.S. Anderson.
What did he do?
His movies.
He has a very familiar portfolio. I just can't even remember.
He did the movie. He did Mortal Kombat, the first one.
Wait,
And
you're
he-
talking about the
Oh.
'90s one, or
Yeah, the '90s one,
Okay.
the good one. He did that. He did the Resident Evil movies. Then he also did Monster Hunter.
Isn't he married to the Resident
Mila,
Evil main character?
Mila Jovovich, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that would be perfect to.
Mhm.
She's probably gonna star in it or something.
I mean, don't they have like a daughter?
I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, he might just put one of his family members on there.
If they do House of the Dead, it'd be cool to see like a point of view version. I don't know.
Yeah, they're well. So essentially, this movie is going to be like an adaptation of the third game, where it has like the main protagonist from the first game is going to focus on his daughter, Lisa Rogan, and it's going to focus on Kieran's son Daniel, and essentially it's going to be an adaptation of House of the Dead 3, but the setting is going to be a little different. Creatures and zombies are going to be like former inmates experimented on. They're not like typical zombies and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they're dead creatures, but they're more
They went to jail.
Yeah.
yeah, that and some the creatures in the games are actually made in a lab as experiments and stuff. And
There's no trailer, is there?
no trailer, but
This is
there's
in,
like
in production.
yeah, it's in production. There's some like concept art, which I think some people in the community say it looks AI-ish and stuff, but I think they're
Oh.
trying to like capture, the feel of like
Yeah.
the bosses. Because like in the other two House of the Dead movies, the one by Yui Bo and the other one by Michael Hurst, they don't have the iconic bosses. They don't have the magician. They don't have Chariot or Hanged Man. Like a talking creature. Like
Yeah.
that insults you and stuff. Like they don't have none of that stuff. It's just
You
basic zombie flicks.
I need a boss that tells me I suck.
Yeah, suffer like
Trash
G
talk.
did.
Turn off his game.
Suffer like G did. Oh, Streets of Rage is another one I forgot to mention. That's gonna be
That's going to be in another media form.
that's gonna be a movie by Lionsgate, I believe. There was an article about that. If my memory is kind of vague,
They're
but I
trying to-
think
they're just trying to get ahead of Nintendo now.
yeah, it's like basically two police officers and some random person got to team up to fight crime in the streets and stuff. That's what I got.
And they just go beat it.
Yeah. Oh, and Golden Axe is getting a show on Comedy Central.
God, what?
So I was like flabbergasted about that too, because Golden Axe is more like a brutal type game,
Yeah, surprising.
but there's some comedic elements from like the original arcade games, like the first one and Death Adder, because the endings have like a little silly touch to them.
Mhm.
That's interesting that Comedy Central is doing that, but we'll see.
Yeah.
It's going to be funny for sure. Like,
I just hope the art style is like really good and understandable for me to pique my interest and stuff. I'm honestly looking forward to all of them, and on my YouTube channel, hopefully if I have enough time, because sometimes I could be a busy person,
Mhm.
I would like to do more content like covering those TVs and films, while also like covering the games that are coming back that I grew up with. And like I'll live stream too, like once a month. So if you guys want to like see me play a game,
all of our guest friend here, all of his links we're going to be putting in the description. So be sure to check him out, support him. We all we just all have to support each other here. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
follow your favorite indie devs, us, and then follow your other indie devs. You know, we love games. We follow a bunch of people.
Yeah.
You know, we all have to support each other here.
Exactly. It's all about passion and connections.
Yeah. Richard, sorry, Patrick, that question segment is over.
It's all good. It's fine.
But yeah, we have 2 questions. We have a couple of questions, but we're going to divide them for the next episode or next program. Patrick can answer these 2, but I have some questions for Richard if you want to ask them. If you want to answer them.
Yeah.
So, at Mangaka99 asks, any indie devs you guys like or follow? So we'll start with you, Richard. Oh, Merry Christmas, guys! Merry Christmas.
Oh yeah. Merry
Happy-
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
This is a Christmas episode, dude. No, go ahead, man.
So, probably the indie game I have the most hours on is Downwell, which I know
Okay.
that's
Who's
kind
that?
of weird because it's a short game.
Who's
But,
who's dead?
It's Ojiro Fumoto or Moppin, I believe he goes by.
Will Moppin. He works
Yeah.
from the success of that game, he works for, is it Pokemon now or Nintendo?
I think it's Nintendo.
Okay, he works for Nintendo now.
Yeah.
Damn. Alright.
Yeah. Yeah, he's moved up there. But that's probably the indie game I have the most hours
Let's see
on.
cool ever.
But and then going back in the day from Back There Land, there was a game company. I guess they're still around. They just haven't released anything recently. But
Back their land.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just saying in Back There Land. But the game company is That Game Company.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
And they're responsible for Flower and Journey and Flow. I believe they had a mobile game called Sky, I think it was.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I
It's
didn't
on
play.
the Switch too, isn't it? Sky?
I'm not sure if the Sky is on the Switch. I didn't play that one much.
One of their games is on the Switch.
It's
it's-
probably Sky because I don't think they had
With
the.
the little kids and something like that.
Yeah, that it's probably Sky, because I don't think the trilogy ever got ported. The Flow and whatnot. Mark Eason, I don't know if you guys know him, but he did Nidhogg, I think it is, which was it was a fencing game. You had a
Oh,
2-player game. It's
this is why we love indie devs. We don't know anything. We don't indie devs. They're so unique that you don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know these games, and that's one thing that makes indies cool.
Mhm.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think it was pretty big. Nidhogg was.
What
But-
console?
PC.
PC.
I mean, I think it's on the Switch too, actually. So.
Okay. Nintendo Switch.
Yes.
I would check that out. You said Nidhogg.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I'd probably say Studio Pixel, which is that's the guy who did Cave Story and Ika-chan,
Oh.
which was
Okay.
DS.
Nice.
Pink Heaven.
Yeah.
Kiro Blaster.
Yeah, Kiro Blaster.
Oh man. Who else you got?
I'd have to think more.
I guess to answer after Richard, mine are Nomada Studios. They did Gris and Neva.
Mm.
Team Reptile. They did Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
a good
yeah.
one.
Cyactro. They did the Tori series. Millennium Kitchen. I don't know if Millennium Kitchen is considered indie, but they made an indie game on the Switch. You might have known them from like Attack of the Friday Monsters.
Yeah. I
On
remember
3DS.
that. DS. Yeah.
And they recently came out with the 2 Shin-Chan Slice of Life games.
Oh wow, they did that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, based on their one of their flagship games. Luke Vincent, he did a lot of the Herald series, and he did Automaton Lung for the 3DS,
Okay.
and Sun Grand Studios, he did Silver Falls. I only have 2 of his games on the 3DS. They're both pretty good, and that's about it. What about you, Patrick? Indie devs that you like or follow?
So I wouldn't say this company isn't. I wouldn't say they're like an indie dev, but they do publish indie games. I want to say I have a soft spot for Forever Entertainment.
Okay.
I've kind of did some stuff with them. They've published the House of the Dead remake, Panzer Dragoon remake,
Oh.
Night Slashers remake, and what's another remake that was like Square Enix? It was like a mecha game, Front Mission.
Okay.
They did Front Mission first and second.
The first two games.
Yeah.
It's put into one game.
I think
One
it's
and
just two, just one and two, separately. I think those games. Well, I know some people have tendencies of like not liking remakes and stuff because sometimes it's not always 1v1. But
Yeah.
personally, for me, like I'm a huge House of the Dead fan. I actually personally liked the House of the Dead remake. It's the characters and creatures are a lot more detailed. The setting is a lot more detailed. Excuse me. They have like little nice touch ups to animations that's not seen in the original Sega AM1 arcade game, which I think like that shows how much passion they put into that project and stuff. And Panzer Dragoon remake is a lot more. And forgive me because I know I'm a Sega fan or anything and stuff, but I never
Sega enthusiast.
Sega enthusiast. Yeah,
Sega
so
enthusiast.
I did own a Sega Saturn back in the day, but I never played games like Panzer Dragoon. So like remake was like my first experience.
For a lot of people, it was.
Yeah.
I didn't know about Panzer Dragoon until I've heard about it in passing, but to see it remade was kind of surprising.
Yeah, like the only ones I was aware of was Orta on Xbox. But like as a kid, the only games on Sega Saturn I had was like Sonic R, mostly Virtual Fighter stuff.
Yeah.
And that was about it. But like I think those remakes are pretty decent. And onto Night Slashers, the game did kind of come out broken because I was doing like a review for that game for my YouTube channel. Because like the multiplayer is very, very extremely broken, but they've been constantly updating the game and stuff, which kind of made it a little bit more, decent to play.
Yeah.
So I like kind of still have a
Fair,
soft spot.
more
Yeah.
balanced.
They fixed it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I got another question, Richard. Patrick, you can answer this too. We'll both answer it.
Mm-hmm.
At Nighting Date asks, games currently playing? ?
Yeah. So for me, it's gonna be
What games are you currently playing?
yeah. I dabble in Pokemon Unite, so I'll play that every once in a while. The Pokemon trading card game that came out, I open packs for that every few days.
Pokemon Pocket.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I open packs for that, and I picked up Unicorn Overlord recently.
Oh, okay.
So
That's another Atlas.
yeah, Atlas
Title.
game.
I only got that one.
Yeah, I've
Did
been.
You bought it or did you play the demo first?
Nah, I just went ahead and bought it because I was gonna buy it anyway. So
That's a Vanillaware game.
yeah, Vanillaware. So I'm working my way through that. I played the Danganronpa series earlier in the year.
What is that?
It's kind of a visual novel, but it's kind of horror-ish.
Is that
Like-
the bear?
Yeah, it's the
black,
bear.
half white?
Yeah, it's the bear that locks
Okay.
people in a
Oh,
Oh,
in a
wow.
location.
Nice.
what else, man?
That's probably the most recent games. Like I'm gonna pick up Eurokill probably.
What is
Just it's a bullet hell.
that? Oh, Dodonpachi. I think there's didn't Switch release Dodonpachi?
I think that's on Switch. Yeah.
Okay, that's a hardcore shmup.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
that's one of the hardest ones.
Okay, to answer your question, Nighting Date, I'm playing Splatoon 3. I play it every day. Shadows of the Damned. I'm on my second playthrough. Yakuza Kiwami. Pretty much every day, along with Splatoon.
Nice.
Paper Mario 64, the Nintendo Switch Online version. Vivid Loop. Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater for the 3DS every once in a while, and LBX on the 3DS. What about you, Patrick?
All right, so I'm currently playing Virtual Fighter 5 Revo, the open beta, which launched as soon as the Game Awards was over.
Damn, already?
Yeah, man. Like I've been playing.
It looks so good.
It's-
It's it's a remaster.
Yeah, it's the same port as Ultimate
Same thing.
Showdown, but it's like on Steam. It's free until tonight, I believe.
Oh man.
I've been playing like nonstop because I was like, I haven't played Virtua Fighter in like online matches or any other Sega AM2 online games because I've been so busy with like work and stuff, and now that I have free time, I went up the rank matches and stuff, and I'm like a level 13 Dan. I've been smoking people along with Jackie Bryant. Like the game is so addicting, and saw a lot of Virtua Fighter community people playing it as well, and I popped up in their streams and like tried to test my skills
You
against those
started
players.
off with Q, right?
Q, yep. Started on Q, and then I'm like, I think level 13 Dan at the moment.
Level 13, Dan.
Yeah. It's
What's the highest?
the highest? Oh, I think Berserker, Assassin, like that's like super top tier. I'm not at that level. Like I love Virtua Fighter, but I'm not like a super expert of like, like high playing
Right,
level
right,
and stuff. I could try to do high level. I just need to play against more people.
right.
I like the media aspects of Virtua Fighter, like the characters. I like the merchandise, like the manga, anime, stuff like that.
Right, right.
Other games I've played, I did play Sonic Shadow Generations movie pack DLC that had Movie Shadow as a playable character, and that was pretty good. The new level is Shibuya, but it has music from, it's like a remix version of Westopolis, which is like a really nice touch because like I know a lot of Sonic fans were upset that like Sonic Team didn't put in Westopolis for Shadow Generations.
Where's Eastopolis?
That's a good question.
Why is it only west?
But like the level's long, has like a lot of like Shadow Generations has like a unique alternate paths that you can do, and that level specifically has a lot of those. I only played it one time on stream, but I don't mind like trying it again on my free time. It was absolutely fun.
Yeah, our friend Patrick will be streaming right after this program, so you'll be doing that, right?
Well, probably not today.
Oh, well, never mind. I'm sorry. I thought you said.
but probably like later on. Like I'll probably stream like next month. Depends on what game.
Yeah.
That I currently have in mind.
Adult life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another game. What's another game I've played very recently? When I was over at my dad's place for Thanksgiving. I played Rena Hero #1. I'm trying to complete that.
Never heard of that. What is that?
It's basically a RPG about a kid who moves. The kid and the family move to a town, and he ends up getting this combat armor that he has to like rent to become like a superhero, to do like daily tasks around the town and stop evil corporations or saving a cat from a tree. Or
Who's the dev?
I think AM2 did the Genesis port. I'm trying to remember what
It's called Rent a Hero.
Yeah, Rent a Hero #1. Essentially, for those who played like the Yakuza hero side stories, sub stories, and Yakuza Like a Dragon, it's essentially that, but you just mostly just focus on missions and stuff. I could like look up the developer right now.
The Japanese game.
Yeah, it's exclusively to Japan. Oh, Aspect. Developer is Aspect. They've worked on some of the Sonic Game Gear games.
Game Gear.
Wow. Came out of nowhere.
I will say this: there is a new Rena Hero game coming out called Rena Hero Z, but this is gonna sound disappointing. I think it's gonna be a blockchain game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sega was into that for a minute. They still are, right?
Not so much as a recent. I think Rena Hero is the only one that's like a blockchain game.
Probably experimenting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that neither. I would say like the Sega musicians, Hori-san and Takanobu Mitsuyoshi, they've did like a new theme song for it, and that's a good thing about it. At least that's all I can say. But that's it from me.
Yeah, that's pretty much all the questions.
All right. right. I think that's probably gonna do it for us for this episode.
Hey, that was let's just end it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be back next time. Give you guys some more updates. Talk about some more games.
Yeah, we're gonna put our friend Patrick, his just all his contacts under the description in this episode.
Yeah, so if you guys like Sega video games and stuff, or you guys want to like talk about video game stuff in general, like, you know, you can follow my channel at Corey Maru Gaming on YouTube, and my other socials below the link.
Yes, Patrick will be one of many guests we'll have. We're gonna have some more people, probably random people who aren't even in video games too. So. But yeah, that's it for our show. I guess Richard, close it out.
All right, that'll be it, guys. See you guys next time.